Welcome back, and today we are going to talk about 20XX. This game is a Mega Man type of game. It's a Mega Man clone, but it's got its own differences. Whereas Mega Man games, they place you on the menu with 8 bosses. You choose which level you're gonna do, and you fight the boss, and you get a power. The power is usually another boss's weakness and stuff, and therein creates your gameplay loop and your your strategizing and everything. You want to strategize which boss comes first, and then what order of bosses you want to do them in, before ultimately going to take out Wily in the classic Mega Man games, or Signal in the Mega Man X games. But after Mega Man 10 was put out, the creator of Mega Man, the guy who's behind it all originally, was departed from Capcom. I'm not sure if it was a good or bad departure, but he ultimately ended up leaving Capcom and telling them all, "Oh, hey guys, I don't need Capcom. I could just make my own Mega Man. I could do it." And so he did it. He did try, and that creation was Mighty Number 9, which, as we all know, was a huge disappointment. It looked good, but that was about all it did. So 20XX came out around that time period, between then and Mega Man 11. So we all had no new Mega Man for a while. We had Mighty Number 9, but it was kind of garbage. And for the people that wanted another Mega Man style of game, this game came out and just kind of scratched that itch. But it has a key difference. This is also a roguelike, so the levels are random. You don't get to pick them, you just hit that you're going to start, and it puts you into a level and expects you to go. So the game is chock full of replayability. It wants you to do runs over and over and over again. And, the intro is even like a little homage to Mega Man 2, which is awesome. And it's really, really well polished. Everything moves smoothly. The platforming is good. It's hard. You have to do it all in one life. If you die, that's the end of the run. You gotta do another run. So let's say you beat 2 bosses and you get their powers, then you die fighting the 3rd boss. You're starting over again from the start. But you pick up items along the way. You pick up nuts, you pick up soul chips and stuff, and you can use those to get yourself some upgrades. Some are permanent, some are temporary. And those kind of things will all just kind of make your life a little bit easier. The boss fights themselves, they're not, I don't know if they're as strong as most Mega Man boss fights, but they're not bad. They're definitely not bad boss fights. I personally enjoy them. I think that they're well put together with a lot of interesting mechanics, and they're very much straightforward in a lot of ways. A lot of classic Mega Man gameplay here with bosses having a variety of attack loops that behave in a fairly linear and predictable fashion, and it's not really all that difficult to kind of figure out the patterns that you're trying to avoid. And by doing that allows you to then beat the boss. Now, your health won't, if you get your ass beat by a boss but you still win, then you're in for a rough time, because your health's not going to come back before the next stage. So you have to play carefully, play smart. But overall, very smooth controls. It feels good. It's on Steam. They even when you go to start the game yourself, they strongly recommend doing it with an Xbox controller. They specifically said an Xbox 360 controller. I use an Xbox One controller. There's really no difference. Just the Xbox One's more comfortable. But the game is very good. It's very fun. Like I said, it's on Steam. It's usually $14.99 on Steam, it looks like. At the time of recording, it's 50% off, which is not bad. That's not bad. And they are working on a game called 30XX, where they're going to change up the art style, do different characters, and just a whole proper sequel. So this game came out 3 years ago, in 2017. For those who are curious, it gets a strong recommendation out of me. Let's go ahead and put that, let's go ahead and put that just out there. I strongly recommend this. But is there a bad side to it? Is there a downside to it? Well, I think that it does have its weaknesses. If you are, for example, if you're not a fan of roguelikes, games where you die and have to start over, like one life games, then you might not really be too into it. Like, it's a fun game. The animation is beautiful. The art style is beautiful. The characters are adorable. You know, there's a whole lot to love here. And you got two characters. You got Nina and Ace. Nina playing the role of Mega Man, and Ace is kind of like your Zero or your Proto Man. I'd say probably closer to Proto Man. And you can play as either one of them, which is cool. But like I said, it is a roguelike, so if you're not a big fan of roguelikes, then you very well might not enjoy this that much, honestly, because that's definitely not for everybody at all. I personally enjoy it, but I mean, I used to do those I used to do runs on Diablo 3 where on that difficulty level where your dude dies and gets just straight up deleted. So I've always been into that. Like, it's not my preferred way of play, but you know, I get into those moods for it, and there you go. So if you get into the mood for that kind of gameplay, then here it is. For those who care, there are Steam cards. For those of you who care, there's achievements. For those of you who care, so there's, you know, stuff to work towards and whatnot. But yeah, overall, 30XX is coming out at some point or another. I'm not actually sure when. Yeah, I actually don't really have anything else to say. I love this game. I love this game a lot. I know this video has ultimately been on the shorter side of things, and that's fine. That's totally fine. It happens. The gameplay is all mine. Obviously, there is going to be minimal, or I shouldn't say there's going to be. It's a little late in the video to say it's going to be, but there was little to no cutting. The game manages to keep the action moving very, very effectively. So that makes the editing a little easier on me because I don't have to cut out that many boring walking parts. The gameplay keeps enemies around you, or keeps you platforming. Very tense, very consistent action, and it's just overall a really, really enjoyable game. I can't say that enough. Anyhow, I've got some other games planned coming up that I'm going to be going over. Some goodies. We're gonna go over a surprise game that was made by a developer that left his original studio and went out to strike it out on his own. And we're not talking about the guy that did Mega Man, because we're definitely not doing Mighty Number 9, because it sucks. And we're definitely not talking about fucking Kojima, because I don't have Death Stranding yet. And I don't know if even finishing that game will give me enough insight to really do a proper video on it and talk about it. From what I understand, that game's fucking weird. Maybe we will do a video on it one day. Who knows? I'll have to pick it up and get around to playing it at some point, and hoping that my computer can even handle it. But that's, I think that's gonna do us. So, thank you all for stopping by. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If not, then you're fine to not like or subscribe. Nobody's keeping you here. You can even dislike it if you really want to. Yeah. I will fucking see you later.